I'm here today as a way of apology for my last video, which I don't believe was very good personally. I am going to put together a pair of skates today that I haven't skated for a long time but held on to and have missed skating. Whilst doing so, I'm going to enjoy this Portuguese red wine, which I've been drinking this evening with my food. And it's delicious wine. It was recommended at my local dealer. I wanted something sweet and smooth, and it has a sweet berry and plum flavour with a oaky aftertaste. But it's very smooth throughout the tasting, without compromising on flavour. So there's nothing wrong with these skates, and this is potentially more of an experiment than anything, as I haven't ridden the other skates for such a long time. I may prefer these skates at this point. However, I wanted to try them out because the lining on these skates cannot be replaced. It's built into the skate, and it's very thin and very hard. It's quite uncomfortable, slightly unpleasant after you've been skating for a while. So I was looking for something more comfortable. Also, the cuffs and the liner on the skates I'm currently taking the frames off aren't very high. They have a low ankle, and the skates aren't that supportive as a result. They're supportive enough, but I'd feel more comfortable with more support. With more support than they currently provide. But they are good skates. I went out on them not long ago and had a good time. So I'm not particularly worried about the other skates not working out or being enjoyable, as I know I can always go back to these ones if that is the case. So I'm currently using this Allen key, which I think is a 6mm Allen key, Allen wrench, hex key, hex wrench. Different people call them different things. but is the hexagonal shaped tool. That I'm using to remove the frames that originally used to be referred to as chassis, which is an incorrect terminology. It's quite correct, but people ended up calling them frames in the end, which doesn't bother me either way. Anyway, so this brand is USD. These are the Jean Calso Pro boots, carbon Mark II. And what I'm going to do is remove the shock absorbers and perhaps, no, I won't use those footbeds because they have a raised edge near the ball of your foot, which is an intentional design intended for you to perhaps grip onto, but I don't like it. I find it quite distracting when trying to get my foot comfortable inside the boot. So they can stay inside these skates. I'm just going to check my recording and see that everything is okay. It's delicious. So far, so good. I have a pile of parts here. These are the liners for the other skates. They have a hole cut out in the bottom to fit one of these bolts inside, plates inside, that a bolt will then screw up into through the frame and pull it all together. The good thing about it going through the liner is it holds the liner down inside the boot so you don't get heel lift when you jump or move. So I'm just going to lace these liners now. And hopefully I can do it while it's facing the camera, and hopefully you can hear the actual lacing sounds when it's faced away from the microphone. Okay. I will tighten these up properly later. I just want to get them in for now and out of the way. Yeah, I actually just got finished editing the today the inner tube changing video. And as I say that now, I realize that it's going to take almost 24 hours to render out a final cut because I added a effect filter to all of the video. But I also just remembered that I named the title at the beginning incorrectly. I called it Yawn's Tire Change, and I didn't change the tire, I changed the inner tube. So that's annoying because it's already been rendering out for several hours. I'm using magic bullet effects for the grading on that video. I don't know why I bothered. It was, I think the reason that I did bother is because the quality of the content was so poor. I felt this desire to somehow try to improve the video visually, as it was poor audibly and in execution. But you'll have already seen that video before this one goes up. I'll hopefully have finished exporting the previous one by the time this is all shot, which then will leave me to upload it whilst I edit this video. I realize that I'm inconsistent with the uploading, but I mean, this isn't something that I'm trying to do as a job. I think I've said this before. I hate to just repeat myself all the time. But I just like to do this to give something to people, to get the feeling that I'm helping someone out, or some people out. And I know that I am. I'm pretty sure that I am. But I also realize that some people can get frustrated when you don't upload very often. And part of me wants to say to those people that you can just take a hike and grow up, because I don't give a shit. But another part of me feels a kind of sympathy. There are channels that I'm subscribed to that I don't get negative feelings or the desire to door slam. That I don't get negative feelings or the desire to unsubscribe from if they don't upload very often. It's more that I just feel like I miss their content. I don't feel disappointment or frustration or anything, just I haven't seen a video from them in a while. That's a shame, just kind of a bit missing their stuff. But I mean, that's the whole point. The whole beauty of YouTube is that I can just go back and watch their other videos. They don't stop being good just because they've been around for a while. I don't think she'll mind me mentioning her name in this context, but Gothic Whispers doesn't upload videos very often, but that doesn't make me want to unsubscribe from her. It just makes it all the sweeter when she does upload another video. She's got what's the last one? I really liked her clothes one. She did a little kind of walkthrough of her wardrobe, of some like new clothes that she got, and I think there were some outfits in there that she already owned, but that was cool. She hasn't done that before, so that was cool. And also, not that long ago, she did a playing Monopoly, the video game. That was cool as well. So, yeah, I guess like in my current mood, I am sorry to the people that like regular content to be uploaded and get frustrated, but that's just the way I operate with my channel. You have to understand I am quite busy with work and trying to have a personal life. So that requires attention and effort at times too. Okay, door slam. That's my signal to check that the video is actually recording still. I'm actually using my 50mm lens today as I've never used it for filming an ASMR video. Oh no, I did in my in a couple of shots of my roleplay, but it's actually got a much nicer picture quality to it than the wide angle lens that I normally use. But because it's 50mm, it's got a really zoomed in, I guess is the best way I can think of right now. Zoomed in image. So the camera is actually on the other side of the room from me right now to get it wide enough to fit everything in. Then I've got the microphone on a lead. So these are called backslide plates because they go here, and when you do certain grinds you lean all the way over onto them. And one of the grinds that you do is called a backslide. Or this backslide royale, Fav, or Favanugan, torque slides. Oh, they call them full torques now, sorry. I'm old. I learned my skating terminology in a different time. Yeah. And that's why they're replaceable, because the idea is that you actually grind on that surface quite often, and if it was integrated into the boot, as it once was, if you grinded through it, and I remember this, you'd grind through the boot and you'd start grinding your own foot eventually. I saw a couple of kids who had skates where you could see their socks through a hole in the side of the boot. I think either I had it once or a friend had it once, and I think it was me. And I got a bit of plastic and put it inside the boot to try and stop my foot getting grinded, but it was quite uncomfortable having a piece of plastic in the boot with me. Okay, so I've got the backslide plate on. So now I need to put on a base plate. These fellas are base plates. This one has my hair on it. at the same time in this instance because there are usually bolts that hold the base plates on. But just for ease and a little bit of weight reduction, I just don't bother using those. This is right foot. So I am right-footed. So I want the frame that has the least wear to be on the right foot. Let's put this one on. So this is going to go on. But I also need a washer and a bolt. These ones might not work. These are the ones that I used in the other skates. I may have to use the old ones that originally came with. The front one's fine, the front one reaches okay. I think, yeah. So I've got bite on that. So the front's down and in. I just need to get the back down and in, but I'll get to that in a moment. First I'll concentrate on constructing the skates at an even pace. I don't know why, I just will. Odd behavior perhaps. Everyone's got obsessive compulsive disorder. We just have varying degrees of it. And it manifests in our own little particular ways. And my particular way in this instance is to construct these inline skates at the same time, at the same pace, without one being closer to completion than the other for too long of a period. Okay, so that's on, but I won't tighten it too much. So the next step is I'll move these to get a liner in. So this is the left foot. So I require the left liner. And I require one of these to go into the bottom. And out of the hole here. Then I go. Now, this is actually giving me flashbacks of the difficulty that can take place in trying to get the bolt in properly. It's been a long time. But again, I would prefer to use these bolts. That's the bolt I want to use. And that's the bolts that were previously used, so there's quite a bit of difference there. So I'm not sure this is going to work, but I'll try. This is the part where you can only look and line things up so much, and then it's time to feel, and I can feel short screw and try the long screw. When I lived in South Korea, I bought these skates whilst I was over there, and I made the mistake of not putting a shock absorber in the bottom and having a long bolt like this. And what I didn't realize is that it points straight up into the bottom of your foot, into your heel. And one day, when I was at a skating competition / exhibition, I did quite a big jump and landed hard, and the bolt effectively stabbed me in the heel. I had to walk with the aid of a cane for at least a month, I think. It was quite bad. But these shock absorbers are thick and hard, and they will prevent that kind of thing from happening again. That wasn't the last time that I used these skates, so I know that it works. You'd think that something like that would maybe put a person off from even having a go. But nope. I guess I'm dumb. This is quite flush now anyway, but we'll put that in. Hope that it stays in the heel, and put in the footbed on top. So that one is almost done. Let's check the camera clock. The battery was running low, and the camera was overheating. But aside from that, everything was okay. I switched the battery out for a different battery pack, and the overheating shouldn't be an issue. We're getting quite close now. Okay. So, I will forgo the attempt of the short screw and go straight to the long screw, as I already know how that story ends. Just using my mouse there. Can't get done. Allen key in. And there we go. Close. Come on. We've not quite got it. No. I've just got to kind of feel for it and hope that the screw bites. I think I've got it. It's hard to tell. No, I don't. So one is kind of typically always trickier than the other. I mean, I could be completely off, but I don't think I am. Okay, as entertaining as I'm sure this is going to be one of those timeout moments where I complete this off camera. Hello, I have it. It bit. I just needed to kind of wiggle the positioning ever so slightly. To get it the way that I would like it to be. And that is what has transpired, as is evident by the resistance that I am met with whilst turning the Allen key. It should be apparent to you that the resistance signifies that the bolt has indeed met its reciprocal. I think they are tight enough. So in goes the shock absorber, as they are known. Followed by, oh, that's a bit of a interesting position. Followed by a footbed. These are sports footbeds with kind of hard gel padding for the arches of your feet that I got from Boots. Boots do good, like sports footbeds. Okay, so I have two skates. I just need to put on the cuffs, which will give me my ankle support. Oh shit. In order to fit the ankle supports, the cuffs, I need to put the reciprocals into the inside edge. Inside edge, that's not correct. Just on the underside, if you will, inside of the boot gel. But they are different shapes, so I need to determine which shape reciprocal goes goes on which side of the boot shell. Now that does look significantly more rectangular, and that is very much a square shape, so down we go. I should have done this first, however, it is now far beyond that point. Apologies as I knock the microphone. That is good enough. So the other day at work, I was talking to the night guy. We get on quite well, and one of the pseudo owners came in to the room we were working for a chat. He was clearly pissed. He'd only just shown up at work after 6 p.m. and he proceeded to tell us about the good old days where they used to sit around and snort piles, literal piles of cocaine. He made me cringe. It was like listening to a fossil talk. I felt embarrassed for him. That's what he enjoyed most. And when he saw that we weren't particularly impressed, he later tried to play it down like we could never get anything done because everyone was always coked off their tits. So, well, yeah, including you. You're only changing to say it was a bad thing because you saw we don't give a shit, and I'm not impressed by your little drug stories. Fucking pathetic. So this cuff bolt is unfortunately quite rounded, and I could pinch the ones off the other skates, but I won't. I'll just stick with these ones and do what I can. These skates actually look very small. I'm not sure. I do have small feet. I have very small feet, but I don't know if my feet are this small anymore. I went through a long period of wearing shoes that were too small for me and kind of condensing my feet and squashing them. And I haven't done that for a long time. So I'm not sure. I think my feet have kind of, and it sounds stupid, but expanded. I think they've kind of spread out. Now that I've been wearing roomier shoes and I haven't really skated much for a long time. Oh, this fucking bolt is so rounded. That's what happens when you use cheap, soft metals instead of harder, stronger metals. Rollerblading is a poor sport. There's not a lot of money in it. So there's not a lot of money in the production costs. So they try to save money on things like that. So that is one skate. And you know, now they're put together, I actually like the look of the other skates more, but they aren't, like I said, they're not very comfortable to wear. really hoping that these don't crush my feet and are too small, because they do have these lovely padded liners that are quite comfortable. So I'll just have to wait and see. Well, you won't, I will. If the weather is nice tomorrow, I'll be able to find out quite quickly if they're too small now, or my feet are too large, should I say. These aren't too small, these are exactly the size they're supposed to be. It is me that will either be the correct match or not. Do you ever think about that? These shoes are too big, these shoes are too small. It's quite funny, isn't it, when you say that, because they aren't too big or too small. They are what they are. They're too small for me, or too large for me. So I'm just pushing the liner back with my thumb and reaching down, getting that in there. So the the longer rectangular one goes in a lot more easily than the square shaped one. I could sense that you were dying to know about that, so that's why I explained that audibly. If you haven't already noticed, I am running out of things to say. But luckily, this skate is almost fully constructed, and this will end my recording session. This is not as smooth as I'd like it to be, because I know that I can see already that this bolt's quite rounded as well. I'll just have to, slipping already. I'll just have to hope I can turn it at an angle. Oh no, it's doing quite well. I'm sorry, I badmouthed you. Although it is just continue. There we go, okay. We'll leave that. That's good enough. And now it's your turn. Right. Slipped almost instantly. And again. The Allen keys are not too rounded off. I'll just do what I can. So, that concludes today's session. These are the old new skates. And these are the new old skates. Meet the old new skates. I'm pretty sure these white ones are actually going to be too small, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it has sent you to sleep, which is exactly where I intend to go soon, as I am ready and some Z's. So, take care of yourselves and be excellent to each other. Good night, all.